What's good, my beautiful infinite beings? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. To smash yourself so that you can get through this journey with a little bit more ease and navigate the sick care system to get our best results. Let's explore that now.
Infinite being, use your intention, love your life.
Managing the journey through cancer diagnosis can be pretty toxic and difficult. This is just one of those times that you may not know what you don't know. Today, I offer you a few tips and tricks to help you manage your journey. Hopefully it helps. There are quite a few things that you can do to make your journey through this time, through chemo and through this progression through disease, you'll want to keep a binder of your tests and blood work and when you've had any surgeries, any medications you're on, and what the dosage is, because each doctor is going to remember different dates and what was done so that they get a clear picture of what's going on with you when they see you. Who's in your tribe? Do you have that person that asks the 20 questions? They can be helpful with you to navigate through this very challenging time. Do you have that pit bull friend? That person that hangs on and will not leave until they get an answer? You need that in your corner. Whatever your strengths and weaknesses are, that can change during this journey. So you want to make sure that you have people in your corner that can do a specific role and help you through this time. So figure out who's in your tribe. Who can you depend on? This cancer journey is not for everyone. And you may have to find people who are outside of your own family, your spouse, your mother, brother, sister, whatever, may not be able to help you through this time. It's difficult for everyone, not just you. And some people don't handle it particularly well. They don't either know what to say, or they don't know what to do or say, and don't do the right things when it comes by you. Sometimes it's out of fear, and sometimes it just shows you who's in your team. So preparing to have a tribe which is separated according to strengths is your best bet. First, figure out how are you going to communicate. Is there a point person? Will you have a chat going on your phones? Do you have a calendar maybe that everyone checks and you send invites to and from? I chose to have one point person, and because it got really difficult giving the information over and over again, and then everyone has questions and they're not sure, and ultimately it can be pretty overwhelming or taxing if this was just a few people, but yet somehow information would be a little bit off depending on who you spoke to. I guess it's kind of like when a group of people look at a painting and you ask the people what they saw, you'll have an opinion of something different for every biggie. After all, it is a business. Check in with your credit cards. Will they extend the limit? so that you're able to pay for your care? Can you get a grant? Google it and find out if you are eligible for grants. During COVID, a lot of companies ran out of funding, and even if they didn't run out of funding, you need to be able to have some type of timeline. So I would write down my deadlines for application and what they said, when things were due, and their answers. Be ready to be put on a waiting list, or sometimes having to apply a little bit later. With COVID, a lot of companies did run out of funding. So either having to wait or wait until next year was a common occurrence during 2020. Make your calls to different doctors prior to starting chemo. The dermatologist is one of the calls that would be great to make, especially if you are one that is prone to rashes. I am prone to rashes and gastrointestinal things. It's believed because of stress, mainly, perhaps diet, not drinking enough water. You want to make sure that you reach out to doctors with any questions. Chemotherapy can cause rashes and outbreaks, as well as having problems with the teeth. So reach out to your dentist as well to make sure that you don't need to see them mid-chemotherapy treatment, as you are immunocompromised at that point, and it's difficult to get out to see dentists and other doctors if you need them. You may need to ask your reconstruction doctor many questions, such as, timeline, or the types of implants, no implants, that whole discussion for breast cancer, for example. And if it's some other type of cancer, you need to ask specific questions to the doctor. So come up with a list of questions that you can ask them. You can also ask doctors about different trials that are available, if you are a candidate for genetic testing, or if there are other tests that you could take to determine if you are a candidate for not having chemo. Those types of questions need to be direct and forthcoming. And if you don't feel like you can speak to them about it, have that appointed friend that can ask the questions for you. Perhaps you feel uncomfortable bringing it up to the doctor. You're afraid they're going to somehow take things out on you. Many people going through the cancer journey feel it's difficult. They don't want to double question the doctor. And that's also where double and triple opinions can help as well, to set your mind at ease, but also for you to do your information gathering along with your research, that you're not just taking anything that one person says, but that you feel comfortable taking your next steps. Chemo brain is real, people. When you forget, and it's not because you're a flighty person or because of old age or any of those types of things, but it's direct reflection of what's going on with you after getting chemo. It can leave you with a brain fog that is unnerving and disconcerting. So one of the things that I had struggled with was chemo brain, where you're forgetful, even if it's someone that you know their name, or you forgot an appointment, or you can't remember a word. These are all very real concerns, and they are challenges for some people during chemo treatment and thereafter. Chemo brain can also affect your ability to do your job well. And you might find that you have some serious issues with work performance as well. Or if you're working on your own projects, you might need to be extremely organized so that you don't forget things due to chemo brain. Consider a cool room at night. In the past, I've liked my room sleep more comfortably during chemo treatments. Ask your doctor if it's okay to take things like melatonin or more natural herbs or things during chemo that can help you sleep if you're troubled. I remember waking up, especially during the beginning, I would wake up crying because I didn't know how I was possibly going to make it through such a tough diagnosis. And I would think about it during the day, go to sleep on that, and then wake up sobbing, choking many times during the night. So having a meditation practice has really helped calm and clear my mind and make it a lot easier for me to not only tolerate treatment, but to have a better frame of mind during treatment. One of the other things that was difficult for me was my physical body changing so much, not just after the operation, but even during chemotherapy, being extraordinarily tired, especially all of a sudden, like chronic fatigue, or not being able to do physical things the way I had in the past. For example, with gyrotonic and with yoga, not being as strong as I felt I was in the beginning, going from what would be considered maybe more advanced levels of exercise to barely being able to walk to my car or down the street was really disconcerting and difficult for me. But you take it one step at a time and you get through it. Perhaps you trade certain practices with other. Meditation, something that will help your mind and brain function during the time and not be stressed over the fact that perhaps you're not the same mover that you were prior to. There's always a chance for rehab as well afterwards, and that will certainly help you to progress in your future. Some of the physical condition can be a concern, so maybe you swap out a more challenging practice for something that is a little bit easier on the body or allows your energy to flow differently, like a qigong, scaling back what you used to do. Remember that you are where you are, and if you stay present, then you're able to move your energy and make the necessary shifts as you go along. Don't get stuck in your past.
Hafiz asks, what do sad people have in common? It seems they have all built a shrine to the past and often go there and do a strange wail and worship. What is the beginning of happiness? It is to stop being so religious like that. In other words, don't build a shrine to the past and stay there, but move through it.
Feel your feels. Whether you're sad, depressed, or angry, feel the feels, because some of it will be chemo induced, but other things are emotions that you actually need to process. So it's actually okay to feel what you're feeling at the time. Just don't get stuck in whatever issues that you're having. Make sure you progress through them, not ignoring them, not squashing them, not holding back, but actually feel them so that you can be your best self when called upon and heal. Recurrence woes was something and is something that I continue to deal with on a daily basis. Some of the things that help me are a meditation practice, particularly transcendental meditation, but other mindfulness practices are also helpful. I have some meditations on my channel if you like to check those out as well. It can help you process informations, clear them. There are also other practices such as using essential oils. You can use essential oils on their head as well for more clarity, especially during brain fog due to chemo brain. Also helpful. And frankincense, lavender, these are the types of any emotions or emotional stress that you may be having. But it has helped me so much. It's literally a game changer. In the beginning with the phase 1 of chemo, those furted. So the brain fog from chemo brain and not being able to clear the drugs from my system, feeling pain, more pain, not being able to move, all of that was so difficult for me, and it would have been a lot more helpful if I had been drinking more water. You can also ask your doctor for hydration IV after chemo perhaps, or a few days later. That's what I ended up having to do. It did make all the difference in the world. Eating a balanced diet was super important. It helps to flush out the toxins in your system. I couldn't taste anything. I did know that sometimes people have difficulty with taste, but I didn't realize how difficult it would be to eat. So then food became for me medicine. It became a way to flush the toxins out of my system. Flax seeds and other gelatin secreting type foods are also helpful because they can pull the toxins out of your system. Chocolate and alcohol, particularly at night, because it's more difficult to process these things, and also the sugar is considered something that might be problematic during care. And the late night chocolate and alcohol, or at least the late night chocolate, can also be difficult for your body to handle at night because of the caffeine. Speaking of caffeine, I know the coffee can also be problematic, and then when you add sugar, cream, and other things, it becomes difficult for the body to process as well. So that's a consideration to remove, or at least drink sparingly. This is a journey that can help you to build your strengths, and it changes you in an unbelievable way, and you may not recognize the person that you become. I'm here to help you become your best self. It's been my pleasure to share with you on this level. Remember, this is somewhat of a journey, and everyone's journey is different. I hope I've given you a few tips and tricks, and if you have any comments that are positive or things that you can think of, as there are a ton of things that go on in the mind and that people go through. But if you have some tips and tricks, pop them in below in the comment section. Maybe we can help some other people as well as ourselves. Remember to always put your health first, especially now. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to mash that bell so that you don't miss another one of my videos. Take care of yourselves, and may you have the best blessed health. Smooches.
Thanks for watching, Infinite Beings. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, smooches.